Hey, hey, hey. Good evening, beauties. I've been really excited to have this live talk tonight. All right, so here she is. Good evening, beautiful souls. Welcome and happy Friday weekend blessings. The weekend is here. Tonight I have a very beautiful and exclusively divine tiger goddess that's going to be joining me today. We have Amethyst Tiger Goddess, and she will be discussing all elements surrounding her cannabis, having ADHD, apparently being a witch, and so much more. I'm so excited to unlayer this beautiful specimen of womanhood. So let's bring her in. You ready? Hi. Let's see if she can. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Howdy.
Howdy.
All right. So let me see you. Are you able to sit back? Yeah, I don't want to see because I don't want any of your gorgeousness being cut off whatsoever.
Okay, hold on. Let's see. I think that'll work.
Yeah, you good? You're comfortable? All right. So good evening to you, beautiful soul.
Well, good morning, good afternoon to me, good evening to you.
I'm forgetting. What's your time zone? Remind me. What time is it now? Like, about 10 past midday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You look divine, but let me start from the TOP. All right, guys, before I get into it, welcome to whoever's just joined and to those who will continue to join. And whoever doesn't join can always watch the playback on this platform and all the other platforms I'm going to share this post on, as well as YouTube. All right. So during the course of this conversation, we're definitely going to make space for you guys to share your comments with us, but I will not interrupt the actual talk going back and forth in comments. This is UK. A lot of us don't do that in London. Yeah, it gets really disruptive. So we'll make space for that. Yeah. All right. So Miss Amethyst Tiger Goddess, as you like to address yourself as, how did you spend your day today leading up to this live talk?
You really want to know?
I want to go. This is me you're talking to. Do I really want to know?
I used every form of cannabis I could to turn down my nerves.
Oh, bless you. All right, so let's get into that a little bit. I know this is what I classify as the warm-up zone. So it's really about the introduction and just unlayering, and both by just having an introduction, energy exchange, and just not getting too deep too quick. So let's have a bit of a slow climax. You with me?
Okay.
Yeah?
Do you have your tea, darling?
Do I have my... Do you know what? You've been watching me, innit? You know I normally have my tea, right? Do you know I don't even have my tea today? Because I would have been late today had I made my tea. So I thought, no, I can't. But I normally have a glass of water and tea. I love that you're on point. So
okay.
I'm already going to have a pot tea. I'll have my tea next time. So cheers, darling. What are you having?
Cheers, tea.
Just regular tea,
ginger,
yeah? All right.
Ginger, lavender, and cannabis tea.
Nice. So let's rehydrate. Let's do that.
Yes, most definitely.
All right. So you said how you spent your day today leading up to this talk was consuming all different elements of cannabis. I'm so going to unlayer that lifestyle you have. All right. Okay, so let's get into it. Who is Amethyst Tiger Goddess?
Amethyst Tiger Goddess is the universal healer.
Repeat that, please.
She is the universal healer. She's the solitary universal healer.
Nice. Okay. And where are you? Where is your... I know you're in States. Let us know which side. What part of America are you in?
I am in the Great Northwest. I'm in Oregon, right between California and Washington.
Is that your origin? Is that where your parents were born and raised?
No. I was spit out in San Antonio, Texas.
You were spit out, yeah?
Yeah, I'm an Air Force brat, so
nice.
Yeah, so we moved around a lot. So
nice. Yeah. So what was Miss Tiger like as a child, or dare I imagine?
Excuse me?
What was you like as a child?
Hyper.
I just said, dear, I imagine, because even though we have, let's say, a small gap of age between us, yeah, I think that we should have had a moment in childhood where we hung out. I would have really enjoyed that. I already know that about you, yeah? So when you say, tell me about that, you was hyper.
I've always been really I don't know. I think in the early years it was curiosity. Then in my 20s and 30s it became being nosy, and then it became being observant as I got older. I was one of these kids, like I like to know how things work. I would like tear up things. You know, my parents would buy me these toys, and I would tear them up to try to figure out how they would work, they work.
Nice.
And that always fascinated me. Now, I could never put them back together.
You're funny. Do you know, it's interesting because you know, I'm glad you know the difference between being just curious and people that are nosy, because people use the word a thirst for being inquisitive. Inquisitive is a polite word for nosiness. So I'm glad we know the difference, and I'm glad you went through your stages.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, in your 20s and 30s, really you are just kind of being nosy. And then when you get older, then it's just like more, okay. You just kind of want to know.
Okay. So how would your friends and family describe you now as the adult version of Tiger? Yeah, don't hold back. Yeah, what was that? I want to know all about it. Come on.
You know, I really haven't changed a lot. I've slowed down a little bit, but I really haven't changed. I was kind of rambunctious and I was a rebel. When you tell me I can't do it, and my dad was a minister, so I'm a minister's daughter. You know, so I'm saying.
Okay.
So I was the one climbing out the bedroom window after curfew, and yeah.
I knew it. I'm going to go into all my predictive thoughts of you in a little while. All right, so that's how they still describe you, would you say? The rebellious kind of...
Yeah, and they would say the same thing. I've toned it down. I've just toned it down. And it's not really that I've toned it down. I've just gotten too old to do some of that shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've just gotten too old for it.
As we're still on the part of speaking of your childhood, do you have a favorite childhood memory you'd like to share with us?
Yes,
no matter what it is, I want to hear it. Come on.
I used to, growing up, because I was a mutt, half-breed, I'm half white, half black.
Ooh, you still use that word,
growing up back in that time in the 60s, it was just really weird because we grew up in a upper middle class. We were military. My dad was, you know, a chemist for the yeah. So we were upper middle class, and well, you know how that goes. And so I wasn't white enough. I wasn't light enough to play with the little white girls, and I wasn't dark enough to play with the little black girls. So what ended up happening is the little boys didn't give a damn. So I ended up hanging out with a bunch of little boys, and well, I was little too, and they became my best friends. And I remember being in 3rd grade, and I can remember their names still.
Wow.
They impacted, they impacted me.
Wait, just go back a bit. So you say you're mixed.
Right.
Which one of your parents is black? Which one's white?
My father, well, my sperm donor. I am a result of rape.
Oh.
So yeah, so my sperm donor's white. My mother was Indian and black. African.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I wanted to emphasize on that because people often ask me if I'm directly mixed race. You and I are not that far apart in complexion. Would you agree?
Right.
But both my parents are allegedly fully black. Allegedly, yeah, I grew up with them, which is being allegedly. So I'm not mixed race, but I'm mixed cultured, and people always ask if I'm mixed race. So, you know, yeah, anyway.
Well, actually, if you think about it, if you go back and think about it and do a little research, we're all blacks are mixed race.
Well, actually, yeah.
We've got Asian in us too. Yeah, because we've got Asian in us too. You know what I mean?
Well, apparently most folk think I'm South American, so I'll work with that. I'm glad people don't think I'm from London now, so I'll accept that, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I live in a mostly Hispanic neighborhood, and my neighbors think I'm Hispanic. They just
That
come to
makes
me and
sense.
start talking Spanish,
Sense.
and it's like, what the hell? I
All right, so 2 more questions in my little warm-up zone. If you could change anything about yourself, if anything, what would you change? If anything. It doesn't have to be anything, but if you would, is there anything that you would, if you could just press a button and zap it away, what would it be? Or transition to?
I would strengthen my self-esteem.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I relate.
Yeah, I would strengthen my self-esteem. And I trust my gut feeling, but I don't know if it's because I'm a Gemini or I have ADHD where I always question it. So I get, and that's kind of, that kind of wears you out after a while.
I relate.
Questioning, you know, knowing your heart, knowing in your heart, feeling it in your gut, but then always having that, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of wish that would go away, where I could just say, screw you, I'm doing it.
Oh my goodness. I relate to everything you said, and I'm not even a Gemini. Imagine that.
Okay, so it's not the Gemini thing.
Maybe this the human / ancestral spiritual part of me that connects to you, but that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation.
You said that. All right. So guys, let me pause on Miss Tiger here and just go back and welcome the guest viewers that I hear this evening come to watch my guest speaker and myself today. This is Miss Tigergodes, and we're going to unlayer different layers and levels of her journey and so on. So thank you for joining us. We'll come back to the comments a little bit later whilst we now enter the main part of the conversation. Yeah, don't even hide it. Just kick back and relax and do you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't you see the video I made of you today? I loved it.
I loved it too. You mean the promo? That was so cool.
I can laugh so much. I loved it.
You ended it perfectly. I was like, what? That's the bomb. That's the bomb.
I said, trust me with the promo. I got skills, girl. I got skills. All right, let's get into it. So the first part of the conversation, which probably intrigued people, was the fact that you were so self-confessed, the most gorgeous 60 years young woman I've seen in a very long time. Like, do you have ID on you right now? Because we're going to need to see it. No. Like, guys, seriously, the first comment that I believe Soldier Boy on here put was like, how gorgeous you are. Unless I read wrong, I don't have my reading glasses on, the right glasses. She's actually going to go and get her ID. Like, she is hella gorgeous, like 60. 60?
Okay, I'll show you the back of my address because it's on the back. So my birthday's on the back.
Do you know, I don't even have the right glasses. I don't even know why I haven't asked for ID, but for those who can see that.
It says, 6662.
Right? Oh, yeah, I need to change glasses. You are divine. I speak for the majority of women and men that would say, wow, she looks amazing. There's women out there in their 20s and 30s which look like you. Yeah, moving on swiftly to the next part of this conversation. Yeah, you look amazing. Yeah, you look amazing.
Well, see, and I am here to help people to know how to, well, my ancestors. I got to have that. That's.
You look good. You look good. So listen.
That's my ancestors.
Voila.
I can't take all the credit.
What's all this talk about you and your bong and cannabis? Let's stop that part of the conversation. It's you just don't be smoking like everybody else. Let me go from the TOP. Where did your passion, I use that word, and love for cannabis begin? How young were you?
Okay, I've been smoking since high school. But then it was just I was in high school. You know what I mean? We were just, you hang out with your friends, get some beer, you go to the park, smoke some weed, you know what I'm saying? It was that kind of thing, and it was just more of a party thing for me then, you know what I mean? And then it became a little something else. And then when I was diagnosed, I think I was like 19, and I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And yeah, I went through all this crap, and then I ended up in the Chicago hospital. It was like the last stop hospital. They said there was nothing they could do for me. And somehow this Asian nurse handed me a business card of this shop out in San Francisco that was Asian medicine, and he had these capsules that she said, go see him, da da da. So I left everything, I packed up, I just discharged myself from the hospital, said screw y'all, and flew out, well, took a bus actually, to San Francisco, found the guy, and at the time they were RSO capsules. I had no clue what RSO was at the time. So I took them I took them 3 times a day for about 8 months, and went back to the doctor. The tumor was gone.
Wow. And you
so
believe that it was the capsules that made a big difference in that transition?
Yeah, and that kind of started it. And then, life happened. And then within the past 5 years, I think like 4 years ago, I think, I got breast cancer.
Oh,
and I went through the chemo, and I went through the radiation. I went through that, and it was just like, screw this, fuck this. No, this is worse than screw this. And I had my whole generation of the generation before me, my mother, my grandmother, not my grandmother, but my mother, my 2 aunts died of breast cancer before they were 60.
Before you go on to, may I interject? Sorry. Before you go on to the next stage of with the cannabis use and different methods, and now you're making your own stuff that you do with it. Can you, if you don't mind sharing, what the chemo journey was like for you, for those of us who don't know, for those who has experienced it and may want to relate, like the symptoms that you watch on TV, is it like that? Let us know.
Yeah.
Is it painful and you feel?
I have a very high tolerance for pain. It wasn't so much that it was painful for me. Well, I guess it wasn't. To me, like I said, I have a high tolerance for pain. So it wasn't physically painful for me. It was internally painfully for me because I have ADHD. I want to get up and do shit. You know what I mean? And my body would not allow it. And so it made me angry. It made me angry. And it got to the point where, I thought to myself, you know what? I got to try another way, because this isn't a way to live. And if I even have to go through this for however many fucking weeks, screw this.
Did you have any hair loss or anything, or how bad was it?
It just started coming out in patches. But you know what? I've shaved my head so many times in my life that hair is nothing to me. I mean, a lot of people take it as a crown, but to me, it's just decor, and then just another way to express ourselves. So, yeah.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah. So yeah, so then I ended the first one. I've stopped with the chemo and everything, and I started doing, and all the time I'm always doing research, and I looked into it, the type of cancer I had. And it was just an assist, and it could be, directly hit, So I was like, okay, cool. So I started making friends with growers. I didn't even make friends with these growers. The universe brought them to me. Like I'd be at somebody's house. Yeah, I'd be at somebody's house, and somebody would say, oh yeah, da da da. And we get in a conversation, and then, I'm there. So I dealt with a lot of growers and, kind of new age doctors that are growing, and they told me, why don't you try it? Just try it. So I did a regimen of, I was taking probably 0.5 gram of RSO twice a day, and went to I did that for 6 months. It was gone.
So
unfortunately, a year later, it comes back.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, but it's just like, screw it. I'm just going to do everything I possibly can to, you know, make this go away. And so that's when I started really getting into not just cannabis, but all the other things that I could add with it to enhance.
That's what I was going to get into. Okay. So let me just ask you questions in regards to the cannabis, because I always say, number one, as we all know for a fact, belief is not the same as knowing, guys. That's two different things. Belief is like hope and faith. Knowing is witnessing, experiencing, and knowing for yourself, okay? And everything is not for everyone. And that's something that I think people struggle to understand. Everything is not for everyone. What works for me may work against you. That's with everything in life, yeah? So with you, when you say you started with the smoking, in regards to the transitioning, the actual, you know, you had the chemo and the cancer, were you smoking it more than anything else, which you felt then worked for you?
No, I was.
That's the part I need to make clear to people, right?
No, I was, no, because, okay.
Yeah, let's get into it. You know where I'm going with this.
Let me say, okay, look, let me tell you something, okay?
Come on, tell them, please.
I can sit up here and smoke a freaking pound, and it would not have gotten rid of the cancer. I would have been in the hospital for asthma fucking attacks, okay? But it wouldn't have done shit.
It's not the smoking, it's the route you take.
No, it's not the... And you know what? I look at it like, just look at it as look at it as a vegetable.
Right.
Look at it as a food, which it is. It's food for the soul. It's food for the body. Look at it as a food. Food needs to go in your mouth, digest, go do its thing, go to its where it needs to go before shit can happen, correct?
Literally.
Correct. Right? If you're smoking it, yeah, it gets in your bloodstream, but it has to go through your lungs, you know what I'm saying? And then it hits your bloodstream, you know, for a minute or two. But it's not going anywhere but to your freaking head. And if you think your body, and I'm just going to say it, if you're telling me that you cured some kind of fucking cancer or anything, except for asthma, you can cure asthma by smoking some kind of weeds. I meant to tell you that. Yes, I've done it. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that. But anyway, if you if you sit up and tell me, I'm just gonna sit up and look at you and wait till you finish. I'm gonna let you give your speech, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you a bold-faced lie, because that's not how it works.
Again, everyone's body is different, but
it has to be ingested. It has to be ingested to get to. And anyway, when you're smoking. Really, by the time all that shit gets to you, you're only absorbing 2%, if that.
So let me unlayer a few parts. Let's pause on the medicated side. I just want to for us to share this with the viewers, because everyone, again, it's important that I, emphasize that everyone's different. Everyone's got a different narrative and different reasons why people smoke or not smoke. The reality is many people need it to cope with life. I'm just going to keep it 100. Many people that smoke, they know it's a waste of money, number one. It's a habit that I used to have. I've stopped smoking for the third time now, and it's been well over a decade and more that I haven't had that dependency. But life is very funny, so I'm never going to say never, but I hope I never return back. But what I'm saying is, it's usually used as a coping mechanism. And then people would also say, oh, it helps me get on the meditation and it helps me create. Well, of course, anything I take that alters my mood will have me react differently. Weed makes me feel more sexual. It does all sorts of shit to me. But, what I'm saying is, though, even when I speak to, the brothers who are from a Rastafarian background, and they say, obviously, it's, there's different grades, or whether it's cess or whatever, purity or whatever it is. I'm not saying that people shouldn't smoke. What I'm saying is, if you need that to create, for me, you got a problem. If you need it to have good sex, for me, you got a problem. If you need it to function, for me, you got a problem. When I stopped smoking, my dreams were on a different frequency. I'm not saying that weed doesn't, of course, weed puts you on a meditation. Of course, it's altering my mood. But once I stopped, weird stuff, clairvoyant energy, all my dreams, everything started to get a whole lot deeper once I stopped. But that may not be for you. That's what happened to me. And on the flip side,
it wasn't your journey.
Do you see where I'm going with that? And though I've been smoking from 15 all the way up until, you know, at my age. And then, yes, I was creating more in different areas. But again, I say, if I needed to depend on that, what's the point? And a Rastafarian brother friend of mine, if you truly believe that smoking is a pure sense of living, then when you go and have your x-rays, you should have no defaults in the x-ray. But of course you're going to, because you're not drinking it. You're not boiling the weed as a medicine and drinking the herb like old school grannies would do. You're smoking. Yeah. What are you rolling it in?
Right.
So what's your thoughts on that in terms of smoking?
Well, I don't smoke very often. When I do smoke, it's to get high.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Immediately calm, or immediately get that calm, or to knock that anxiety off. And that's, you know, it's just, I'd rather not take a pill for it.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. I never tell you, got to do what's best for you. But once I was able to not depend on it to actually make a difference, that's when I started to feel more clearer. However, we all cope with things differently. And if it's a method that works for somebody in order to stay straight and stay off the edge, then by all means, you know, by all means. So it is not for everybody.
Yeah. It really isn't, because everybody's chemistry is different. Everybody's backgrounds are different. So I get that.
Everybody's calling is different. So
yes, everybody's journey is different.
And your anxiety may be, you know, lowered, and someone else will smoke it and turn insane. That's a whole fact.
Yeah, that's a whole. I've seen that. Okay.
When I stopped the third time, strange stuff started happening. I was like, okay, that's the creator saying you've had your fun. Yeah. Had your fun. Different realms now for you, girl. But hey, that's
okay.
That.
So it was a journey for you. It was just.
Oh my God! Yeah.
It was a journey for you.
I was the original ganja baby. Let me not fool you, girl. I'm telling you. But enough of me. So with you now, share with us where you transitioned from smoking it to now having it in you know, products, and is it body lotions, and you've gone into extending that. Talk to us about that.
Well, I really don't like to smoke because I don't like the throat. I don't like that whole thing. But so my instruments are I'll usually have some really good water bongs, some to filter the water through. Like I said, joints.
Do you have any nearby that you could show us?
Girl.
Okay, maybe not then.
No, I'm like, girl, look.
Don't tell me you got a whole.
I'll show you my ceremonial one. Hold on. She's right here.
Hi, guys. Hey, Gigi.
All right. I'll tear everything up trying to get to her. Here we go.
So we're just now going over the fact that it's not always what you take, it's the route in which you take it, guys. You know? That goes with everything, isn't it? So,
okay.
Girl, you're on a whole nother level now. What's going on?
This is my ceremonial water bong.
Can you... I've been out of this game for so long. Like, really? I've never even used the bong. That's how long ago I haven't even smoked. Like, seriously, like, is there any demonstrations that can be taking place? Have you already had your hit for the day? What is going on? Have any of you guys ever tried? You look more likely have. Does any of you guys have this at home, or do you use it, viewers? Any of you guys have any of these bongs at home that you use, or you just straight, you know, roll in your leaves or your Rizzlers, or what do you do? So, okay, so how many do you have of those? Girl. Well, I've seen your crystal collection, so if it's anything like that, then I already know.
Let's just put it this way, okay? I just had to buy a 4x6 shed. So
Wait, is that because you're selling them or that's your collection for yourself?
Well, because I had to take some of my stuff, my other stuff that maybe I'm going to use in 2 or 3 years, but not right now, out there so that I can make room for my stuff.
Okay, so let me ask that again. Are these
So
bongs your
I have to make
collection
room
for
for my
yourself?
collection.
Is that your collection? Let me not judge because I've got crazy collection hats over 100. So let me not even act like you're like that. Okay.
I think I have quite a few. I have probably 30 bongs.
Is that one your favorite? Can you show us another kind that's maybe a little bit more, not as extreme, but maybe something that someone can carry in their bag? Or is there any other little ones, variations that you can show us and tell us what the differences are between.
Let's see. Okay. Wow.
Okay, good question. Let's get into it in a minute. Whilst you're away, I'm just seeing the question pop up.
Okay.
Well, we're from Mr. Washington. Hey. Okay.
Okay. So this is just your typical, your bong, little water bong, and then I have a silicone.
Show us that hand again, please. Gimmicky, go on, quirky.
It happens to be my favorite word, so my favorite term.
And what's the difference between the first one and the second? Tell us this between the two that you have in front of you. What are the differences? Like, is it just the fascination of collecting them and having or is it just, do they do different things?
Well, this one's pretty much just ornamental because it really sucks to hit off of it. I mean, really, you know what I mean? It's just ornamental. This one, I got because I go camping a lot.
Oh.
And I needed something small and that can be
That's what I meant.
Yeah. So then this is my silicone one. And I also can put a dab rig attachment on it. So, hold on.
Okay. She takes her bongs very seriously.
Yeah, it's I've got a dab rig.
And what does that do? I genuinely don't know.
Oh, okay. This is what I smoke the concentrate out of.
Okay.
Yeah, the resin. So yeah, so that I like that because it's, and all I have to do is put it in a little bag and I'm good.
I think if I was still doing the whole weed thing, I may have a bong.
Yeah,
so maybe the next lifetime
it's so much nicer. Oh yeah, it's so much
nicer.
nicer. And I'm telling you, I have a couple bongs where they have ice holders in them.
Oh my goodness.
So I put ice in it, yeah, and then I get some mint from my garden, and I put some cold water in it, and put the mint in it, and let it sit there for a while.
Nice.
And then, yes, so that when it goes down, you're getting from the mint, you're getting the antibacterial vapor oil from that, and it's coating your lungs. Because I'm always looking out for my lungs whenever I smoke.
So I've noticed you are quite a conscious consumer. You're not just reckless. You're actually quite. You think to educate yourself.
No, because I want to keep smoking, and I ain't trying to die smoking. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So whilst you're doing that, let me ask you one more question before we go to the comments. In terms of that, obviously with the bongs, that's when you want to have a bit of a little mental wave. You want to be a little bit on a bit of a high, yeah, which we like to have a little bit of a wave. Am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
But what inspired you to go into the whole, the body lotions, and talk to me a bit about that, the product.
The cancer thing, So when I was going through the second bout of breast cancer, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do everything that I possibly can. I'm going to bleed green. So I figured out, I used to make lotions. I used to make my own Bath and Body products years ago. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start this shit again. But instead of using this product or using this, I'm going to use infused coconut oil or cocoa butter.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, cool. And so I did, I was in the kitchen. I'm a little kitchen witch. I was in the kitchen stirring up, making up some potions and getting whatever herbs and stuff and all the
Mm-hmm.
good stuff that it was good for the skin. And I finally came up with one, and it was really simple. And
Okay. And
so I have it in my,
are you selling these products? Are they out for, for shipping and stuff?
No,
Or it's
no.
personal neighborhood deliveries and you would do? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Something like
Does
that.
the lotion smell of cannabis then? Or
No, no, no. Because I decarb it. I make sure for it to activate, it's got to be decarbed. So I decarb it, and then it has a slight smell, but the essential oils that I use are strong enough to kind of um, hamper that, but you can still smell it. It's still a smell. I love the smell of it.
what is the benefits of having cannabis lotion though? Do tell. Or is it just
Well, it can still get in your bloodstream. Stuff still gets in your bloodstream through your skin. So it's just for me, it's just another layer of protection.
what other
And
products?
I've actually made a massage rub, a muscle rub.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, that is just, oh my God, it's awesome. I even blew myself away on that one.
So
And
you
I do
basically
it in my hairdressing, and I do it for my hairdressing. I add infused coconut oil, neem oil, peppermint, and black pepper
for your hair, your scalp.
For my scalp, yeah.
And have you seen any difference with your hair growth or your scalp, differences since you started using that in your hair?
I've seen a little bit. Like I was starting to thin a little bit, but I've started to see where it's kind of not as thin, and my edges. I got edges. Well, I had edges, but I kind of got maybe full edges now.
So you blend it and drink it. You use it as a body rub, and you also apply it to your hair. And did you say toothpaste? Are you making toothpaste now, aren't you?
Yes. I wanted to show you that. Hold on.
Yeah, show me, and then we'll go to some comments. Oh, interesting. How things has evolved since I stopped smoking. Very interesting. Even vapes weren't really out when I was smoking, so I missed that and all that fun. Guys, how you doing? We're going to get into some more layers in a moment in regards to, here she comes back.
No, I ain't back yet. Hold up.
All right. In regards to Tiger Goddess, being into Buddhism, and apparently being a witch, having ADHD, and so much more. So stay with us. You better put your kettles on. Pour yourself a drink. It's Friday, guys. Kick back a little bit. What do you want to show me, girl?
Okay. And the thing, too, about my stuff, and I try to tell people, is it's interchangeable. Okay. Like my body lotion, you can use it for your hair. You can use it. Yeah. All the ingredients are mainly the same, the base ingredients. The only thing is if it's for, like I said, for muscle rub, I'll add different herbs or different ingredients to it. But it's all the same. I just make one huge crock pot of it. And so then separate.
How do you go about knowing how much to put in percentage-wise into your products?
Girl, I don't know. I just throw it in.
Well, it's for you personally, not like you're actually selling it.
Yeah, look. I'm a natural pharmacist. We don't measure shit.
That's like cooking, isn't it? Old school cooking. We don't really measure, do we? As such, you just taste it as you go along.
I ain't got time for all that.
So what do you want to show me? This toothpaste. Let's see it.
So this is, well, let me show you on this one. This is...
And is all this legal in your state? Or should I just pretend I didn't ask that question?
Yeah. It
is.
This is the body souffle.
That's the body lotion.
Yeah. And I mix it with, it's infused coconut oil, African shea butter, not refined. It's raw African shea butter.
Nice.
And yeah, a little bit of grapeseed oil.
Show me again. It looks like very avocado-y. It looks so lush.
Oh, yeah, it's got not avocado, aloe vera. I put like
okay, it looks so like nice, nice.
And then this is the toothpaste. Let's see.
Oh, it's actually black.
Yeah, because it's charcoal. So I mix that. So I mix. Yeah, so I put aside some oil and I mix charcoal. Yeah, activated charcoal, baking soda, and I chop up mint and put it in here as well.
Does it taste good? What does it taste like?
Turmeric too. Charcoal? I don't know. I don't know.
Is it the one? Does it whiten your teeth? This particular one, or is it just?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, bro, look. I have got a broken wisdom tooth back here, and I've had it for 3 years. All right. I should have been in a dentist seat. This has stopped it.
Wow. Okay.
Up it, yeah.
And
let's see. Oh.
So what else?
And
what
this
else
is the muscle rub.
What is this?
This is the muscle rub. You can kind of see the green. It's kind of green. You can kind of see, but that's the muscle rub.
Have you used it on anyone else?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is that in or out the bedroom?
No, this ain't bedroom stuff.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
This is all people pain stuff. Look, this is the rheumatism medicine.
So that ain't gonna turn on the freakiness. It's not the type. It's not the one. Okay,
no,
girl. Right.
No. If you put this in freaky places, your ass will end up in the emergency room.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, you be burning. You be burning. Okay.
Oh, mate. Okay. I won't order that one then, girl. All right. So let me go to some comments.
All right.
Let me see. These glasses, where's my... Yeah. So let's go to some comments and then we can get into the part of you being a Buddhist. And if there's anything else extra that you would like to add in regards to the cannabis, the pros, the cons, please let us know.
My thing is, and I always try to tell people, and we've spoke on this before, cannabis is not for everybody. And if you don't, you need to know what type of person you are to know what kind of cannabis to smoke.
And you won't know that until you experiment. That's the deal.
You won't know until, yeah. So I advise people, buy different joints. Don't go out and buy ounces if you don't know about the strain. Try it out first with a joint, because, one person might tell you, oh yeah, I have this effect on me, but it's not going to be the same, because everybody's energy pattern is different. Everybody's body chemistry is different. Everybody's body fat, is different. Everything is different. So you can't really depend on, yeah, you can take it, but take it with a grain of salt.
I'll tell you something real quick. Sorry, on that note is I know someone, I used to know someone who used to smoke and drink regularly, no issues. I'm talking about forever, smoke and drink. And she traveled and tried a joint abroad, and she ended up getting locked up in psychiatric hospital because she was going to jump off a ledge. Now, I don't know what happened between London and traveling, but that joint worked for her. So I keep telling people say, oh no, you cannot keep exercising what works for you, because you weren't made where I was. You wasn't chosen for certain things that maybe Tiger's been chosen for, or have certain gifts that someone else has got that may interrupt who you are and your frequency. You just don't know.
Yeah.
I've had to really learn that in life, that just because we're walking on earth the same, we're not from the same necessarily lineage or family background or what we're made of.
Yeah. And you got to be careful being around them, because they can knock you off your original path. Okay. There are people that do that. There are people that we spoke on this.
Yeah, we're not all this. Even if we look the same, we're not all the same internally. I'm talking about spiritually too. There's levels to it.
Energetically, we're all different. We all have separate energy patterns.
Yeah, what might help you become sane can send someone else mad. So I'm going to leave that one right there. Let's go to the comments before we go to the next part of our... Where's the comments? Where's some of the comments? Let's read some real quick.
Okay, you can read them to me because I ain't got my glass.
Yeah, yeah. Amethyst, feel free to sip on something, to like something. Do what you want to do, girl. Let me get these real 2020 visions. Okay. So I'm waving. I waved at Michelle. How you doing? Oh, made to master. Hi. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Soldier Boy says she's gorgeous. Okay, let's see what some of that mind has to say. He says he's my poet friend in States. He's an amazing writer and a soldier. Oh, and Soldier Boy would like to know what your birth sign is, what your star sign is.
Gemini.
Okay, so your birthday is, when's Gemini?
June.
May and June. May to June. Okay, what's her birthday? Okay.
666.
Okay.
Not ashamed of it.
And Blow One Clothing says, wow, I use half-breed too. I laugh my ass off. My kids are 50-50. Oh, when you say half-breed, you mean mixed race, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we call it in the States.
No, do you know what? That's what they call it even in London, but that's now politically incorrect. So you can say it because that's your that's your mix, but it's wrong for me to say. It's a bit like anything else. Some people use the word coolie, but actually it's very derogatory for those who know the history of the word coolie. But as a Caribbean, my parents would see it as a good thing. Oh, that person has nice coolie hair. But if you research that, it's like saying the N-word. That's a whole other conversation. But I would once said to a young lady, I love your coolie hair. And she was like, thank you. I know you see that as a compliment, but if you know your history, it's not. So I researched it and she was right. So, yeah. So it's politically incorrect.
You know what? You want to hear something? Well, yesterday,
but you're allowed to say it. It's you, but I'm not allowed to say that word. That makes sense. It's not politically correct to say half-breed. It's like, what did she say? Yeah. So we just...
Okay, well, you know what? I just don't... I don't get hung up on those words. Because I guess because I heard them so much growing up, it's just... It's known to me. And it's just words. And to me, if you don't... If you just look at the person as being, okay, they're just temporarily ignorant, and don't let their energy as they're saying the word hit you.
No, we get that, but at the same time, we get, it's a bit like, look, I'm a Londoner, so I don't go around using the N-word, and a lot of people who claim to be conscious are still saying the N-word every 5 minutes. I don't get that. However, their own, and people want to be like, well, we claim the word back. Claim the word back from who?
From what?
From what exactly? So everyone's on their own space and levels of growth, and I accept that. But naturally, words have power if you allow it, and I get what you mean by that. But I'm not saying you shouldn't use it. I'm just saying I couldn't use it. No different to a Caucasian couldn't go around saying, "What's that N-word? Are you mad? Are you mad?" Yeah. So you can, but yeah. So I was like, oh, my dad still uses that word. I'm like, Dad, you're not allowed to say that, But he's old school, and that's the time where he came from. So, yeah.
Yeah, and some of those oldies, they're diehards. They're diehards.
See, someone says that Deli says twins do some shit sneaking out of the window. Are you a twin? Did you say you're a twin?
Yeah.
Okay.
No. You mean a human twin? No.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Astrological twin.
Indian elk sameness thing. Okay. That's what happens sometimes when we're talking. Sometimes that moment's gone and I read back the comments and then it's like, oh, well, I'm like, oh, what's that related to? Hi, Mr. Crown Jewels, and hello to everybody else. All right. So let's get into the next part. I was going to go into the...
Sorry, I was having a stoner moment.
That's all right. I was gonna, hey, Meta Master podcast. Guys, go check him out. Check my boy out, Meta Master podcast. If you haven't heard about it. Sorry, quick plug in the middle of my life.
Is that the
That's Meta.
Oh.
He does podcasts. He's amazing.
Okay.
Really. So I was gonna go into the Buddhist part, but I know people want to hear about the witch part. So let's go there. Let's go there first. All right.
Okay.
If someone had told me even 3 years ago, 3-4 years ago, that they were a witch, I'd be like, next, door locked, window locked, blind closed. I'm burning steak on your bumper hole, everything. I'm like, what? Witch? What? Because, you know, where I come from and how we grow, that's something to kind of run away from or prey on and be putting, you know, salt under your carpet and garlic over your front door. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? All right?
But aren't you of Caribbean descent?
Yes. Listen to what I'm saying, though. Just because it exists in your culture doesn't mean you have to be about it. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. I haven't gotten a BBL, so I'm good.
Right? So what I'm saying is now, with all this new age coming out the closet, and I don't mean in sexuality, I mean in terms of if you go on multiple people's Instagrams right now, everyone's an oracle. Everyone's a shaman and a tarot card reader. Everyone's a psychic and a poet. Everyone's a, you know, award winner author who published one book last week. This is the world that we're in right now. Everyone's everything. Yeah? Do you see where I'm going with this conversation? Okay. Now, you got people, I've had people on this live that said, oh, I'm a tarot reader. I went to college. I said, you went to college to learn how to read tarot? Oh, you got a certificate for being a witch. Okay, that's the time we're in. Do you understand? So I'm no longer afraid of it. That's the time we're in. There's witches, and they refer to that as being a herbalist, and they relate that word to whatever. And you have dark heart, rubbing blackstone, which we call obia, dark magic, depending on what culture you're from, juju, voodoo, depends on what you refer to it as. So now that I've covered that disclaimer, I don't feel afraid of people like yourself or people I've had on here because their rendition of witches, whatever, let's go and have tea and dinner tomorrow. Are you free? Yeah, I'm not afraid. There's levels of people to not be around and people that are they just do their thing and I'm not scared. Yeah, it's not from that place of darkness. There's a difference. So are you a light worker?
I guess.
All right. What do you, when you say witch, what does that mean to you? Because you are literally a
Okay, first off,
to you?
First off, I don't like that word.
What, witch? But it's on your bio. You call yourself a witch.
Because that's because the general public, because 43% of people are idiots, okay? So I have to.
So why would you?
I have to cater to what people know, and then that'll draw them in. And then when I draw them, when they get drawn in, then I break it down to them. But you gotta fucking shock them first. You know what I'm saying?
You tricked me. You basically tricked me. Right. So that tells me that this is why I know who I'm cool with and who I would not even want to be talking to. Yeah. So you're saying because of this modern day roped in version of witch or related to the old school, like maybe my mom's day and even now, they may call them the bushwoman or the bushman. It's still the same thing, but maybe people will go to them for many different reasons. Yeah, where I come from, they're not going to anyone to go and keep your boyfriend and put a spell on a woman to keep her or get back and maliciously hurt your ex. I literally don't deal with those people. Yeah. So what do you do? What's your version of what you do? Like, tell us.
Okay. My version of a naturalist is I work with nature. I work with the energies of the universe. Mm-hmm. I learn to manipulate energy temporarily because it's not mine to have. So I manipulate it temporarily to aid for the greater good. Whatever that Good, maybe.
You go into layers of, let's now bust the onion wide open. Let's unlayer you, girl. What does that really mean? When you say manipulate it, what's your practices? Can we get into that?
Well, everything is energy. Everything is always moving. We transfer energy to each other. We can send energy to each other. And the more in tune we are with ourselves and honest and true to who we are.
I thought you was having an Exorcist moment there. You scared the hell out of me, girl.
Okay, as long as we are true to who we are, then shit that you want will come to, well, you'll start seeing things happen. You'll start seeing situations happen that are towards the greater good, towards your goal.
I'd like to know, what are some of your practices? What do you do?
Well,
what do you cook in the kitchen?
First off, because I want to. What's going on? Okay, I wanted to say this. I did want to say this.
Okay.
That, and this is not. I'm not showing no shade. I may be. Okay, sorry, not sorry. All right. I may be throwing some shade on somebody's shit, but
no, speak. This is your life.
I am. Get ready. This life. If you go to it's irritating me that all these people are starting to sell these things for spells, and these stones will do this and the stone will do that, and this is you put this shit together and this is gonna happen and blah blah blah. Fuck that. That is not how that works. And
you mean
the truth of it, huh?
It doesn't work that way for you, but for somebody else.
No, okay. Let me clear up. All of this is my opinion and how I feel and how I see the life and my universe that surrounds me. Okay? Okay. That's disclaimer.
All right, go ahead.
There's my disclaimer. Okay. So how I see it, and I was just talking to my husband about this morning. How I see it, the spells and all that stuff, and the concoctions and all that stuff. We were, I think, early, for lack of a better term, so everybody knows what I'm talking about, witches we went out into the woods. Think about it. Somebody had to do the groundwork to find out which plants were poisonous. Somebody had to.
100%.
Somebody had to be the first person. Okay? So I think during that time, way back, I don't know when, whatever, that they would have to forage. They'd have to find survival. They were surviving. So they had to find food.
Yeah.
So they came across these plants and these different things, and people tasted them and shit happened. And they observed that the shit happened. You know what I'm saying? So to me, they were just herbalists going out there doing their thing, and they ran across some shit that could do some shit. And then so they come back to the camp or whatever, to the mainstream, whatever. And, they might run across somebody that does something. Well, let's figure out, see if this will really kill him. Like something with arsenic. There's a plant out there that's got arsenic. Let's see now. They stick it in the tea and they watch the motherfucker die. Oh, okay. And just like where it started to be a natural thing where they were going to use those things to heal, it split in two. It's probably two sisters, and they split in two. One used the herbs to heal, and the other one used the herbs to fucking try to take over the earth. That's why you got your dark ones, because they're unhealed people. If they consider
so now you give me
dark,
a disclaimer. I still want to know what you do.
Okay.
And let me tell you why. This is now where I start to probe the hell out of you. Because let me tell you, I've spoken to a lot of people on these lives, a lot in the last 3 years. And I can have a whole live of someone being evasive. But I want to know, in that kitchen of yours, other than your green and your body lotions, what do you do? What are your rituals? What do you cook up? What spells, if any, do you do? Because obviously, I know you said that you use the word witch to pull in people, but it's the kind of word that will have someone deter from you. So to use such a word on yourself and in your bio, it's got to be more than just the fairy tale books and you go into the forest, because I love the forest. So maybe that makes me a witch, does it? It doesn't.
Okay,
so,
my process, okay, my process, when I start the process from making, you know, decarbing the weed, is I always have music. I always have classical music going. I have music with no words. I either have classical music or I have chamber music. Something about the vibration of that music, I don't know, it does something to me. And so it brings out this energy in me that comes through my fingers, that when I'm touching the weed, when I'm everything that I'm handling, that energy is going into it. Like, I don't fuck with anything. If I'm in a bad mood or I'm in this twisted, I don't cook, I don't touch anything, because I know I've witnessed what these hands can do.
So you don't actually do any really witchery work. You don't do any spells. You don't do any concoctions. So you're not actually technically a witch.
No, I'm just, when I'm doing it, I'm just in my head. I'm steadily thinking, though. I'm steadily, I guess it's a mantra that I'm saying in myself, that what I am making now is for the nourishment of my body. You know, please take this energy and help me to continue to do what I do. And so I kind of do that all through the process.
So you don't do any spells whatsoever?
No.
So you're just comfortable with the word witch, even though you know what the connotations and the origin of the word actually means?
Well, because like I said,
words
if somebody has something to say about it, then I'll break it down to them. But so when I say naturalist...
What's a witch then? What's your definition of a witch?
I don't really have one what's been commercialized. To be honest, I don't have a version. I don't know. I just never even thought about it. I just don't have one.
Okay, so you're just
I know what it's supposed to look like.
Just comfortable of words. You don't take words literally for what the origins of. It's like me saying, if I went around saying I am a priestess or I am a spiritualist, I wouldn't. Okay, for an example, I once met a lady years ago when I first came on social media, and I was connected to this woman on social media. We were always supporting each other. I was in each other's inboxes, and she said, I'm a spiritualist. So I said to her back then, do you know what that means? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, in that case, this is where I leave you, no more contact with you. She might have been a bit surprised. But my thing is, if you're spending time talking to the dead and you don't really know what you're doing, I didn't want the energy around me. But, you know, spiritual.
For real?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, for real. Spirituality, spiritualism, spiritualists, they all have different meanings for what you do in those realms. So someone, and at the time, that's when it became a new trend to say, I am this. She was a soul that was roaming and trying to find herself. So if you are roaming and searching and you're not solid in what you are about, suddenly overnight your profile says, I'm a spiritualist. I was like, bye, bitch, bye.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm a naturalist.
There's a difference.
I don't like the word witch, and you're absolutely correct.
No, I'm
not saying no, you're absolutely correct, because I fight with that every time I see it. I fight with that. I really do.
I'm not here to change any words you use, but the point I'm trying to make is
no.
To know dead people. The only thing that was dead was her in here.
Yeah, no.
But she
I'm telling you, the universe works in mysterious ways. I'm telling you, because I was fighting about this yesterday. I was fighting about it yesterday, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna let that to the side. If the answer comes, it comes. It came. So there's my answer.
Through me, are you saying?
Yes.
Well, that's the beautiful thing. But no, I'm not here to change anyone's rendition. But even though, like you say, we don't have to put the energy and weight on every word. Some people believe words are spells. Some people do believe words are spells. I just feel like words does have power if I wanted to have power. And so, if I was a healer and I could touch somebody, or I could just, I don't know, energy read and stuff, etc., I wouldn't say I'm a witch. I would just say a naturalist or a healer or a vessel, or whatever word you want to use. But by all means, but witch has such a heavy...
I like vessel. I like
Yeah,
vessel.
you know, vessel or, and interestingly, I get a lot of inbox of people asking me, are you a reader? Why do so many people keep asking me that? Constantly I get asked that question, but that's for another show. Yeah, that's for another show. So you're not a witch, you're a naturalist, and you don't do any spells whatsoever.
But I'm able to make shit happen.
What kind of shit do you make happen?
I can, like,
Do you see?
this is the
I'm
biggest.
trying to
This
get
is the
something
biggest one.
tangible from you.
This is the biggest one.
Tell me about it.
And I think I told you about it. Yeah. I was determined. I had been going through PTSD and seasonal PTSD for over 30 years. But I had been working and taking care of life and just never took care of it. As soon as I retired, shit started coming down on me.
Mm.
You know what
Okay.
I mean? So, what was the question?
That's all right. So basically, to wrap this part of the talk up, I would say from my perspective and from your confirmation of the perspective that you are just a beautiful naturalist that has elements of healing within yourself because you've self-healed as well. So you're a naturalist.
There you go. That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
But these titles come with responsibility also in spirit realm. So if you're going to say you're a witch girl, you're opening portholes.
But look,
You're opening
I know
gates.
this. And so, but yes.
Not even careful because they're probably more scared of you because you're quite a powerful individual. But what I mean is we have to be mindful, you know, because imagine that there's some things I know that I'm even afraid to say because I'm not ready for what comes with that.
Right.
But I shouldn't be afraid, but
we all have it. That's just the thing. We all have it. We all have it. Some people are just activated to use theirs, and some people aren't, I think.
Mm-hmm. Do you understand?
Because it's not their time to go through it. It's not that part of their journey. It may be in the next lifetime journey. It's just
okay. So I'd say you're just a divine naturalist, and there's nothing wrong with that, girl. But hey, let's talk about. Okay. All right.
Shit.
You know what? It's going to be a long life, you know, but I love it. This is like chit chat with Silver. This is what I'm like when I'm in this mood. All right. Are you ready to shift the tone real quick for a moment?
Am I what?
Are you ready to shift the energy into?
Oh yeah. I'm good.
I saw a post on your page, and it was Mummy with the apron strings and refused to let go of her last baby, her son. Yeah, and the
Say that again. Wait a minute. Say that again.
I saw a post on your page relating to your last baby, your son.
Right.
And what I got from that post was Mummy sending out a warning to all the women that wants to date her son, and I was like, those apron strings has not been cut, even though he's an adult. Yeah, but because I know elements of journey, I was like, okay, I'm going to give it that 5% because usually I'm not a possessive mom. So can you share with me, are you willing to share with us? Yeah, ready for that? What happened to your children that's transitioned, and how many, when, how, what? Share with us, please, more on a serious.
I had 5 children by birth. Within, I think it was like a year before COVID. It actually started New Year's Eve of 2018. My daughter was murdered in front of her house on her way from work in front of my grandchildren. After that, I don't remember dates. But after that, my oldest son was found. He hung himself.
So let's go back a little bit. What age was your daughter?
My daughter was going on, what am I, 60? She was going on 38.
So young.
38.
And
And my
after your daughter,
third,
within a year, your son committed suicide.
yeah. And then within 9 months, then he committed suicide during COVID. When COVID, you couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't do anything. You
Do you
couldn't do
think that
anything.
was the catalyst? Was that what it provoked him to do that, do you think? Yeah. And then after your son, within a space of time,
Yeah.
what happened to your third child?
Then my middle son, I got a message from his father that he had committed suicide. He had run his car off a cliff.
And what age was he?
He would have been 33, I think.
Okay,
Because
so this,
he was the middle boy. And then my oldest daughter was murdered in line of duty. She was a policeman. And she also worked for the FBI. So
and this is 4 children within a space of 2 years.
3.5.
Now, of course, I knew the elements of your children not being around, but I didn't know the dynamics and the detail. So my reactions, viewers, is genuinely what it is. I'm speechless. Thank you for sharing that. What goes through my mind, I guess, based on how I operate, is how have you managed to still be here with your radiance and survival and coping? How?
My spiritual beliefs.
Now we're talking. What is that? What are your beliefs?
Like I said, I know energy moves. I know about energy. I know nothing ever dies. We never die. We dissipate, we change, but we never die.
Mm.
It may help me, whatever, I don't know, but I believe that everybody came here with a mission.
Mm-hmm.
When shit happens to them, us outsiders don't understand why it happened and why it happened that way. But
Mm-hmm.
we don't understand that we came in here as individuals with journeys, purposes to learn, to grow, and to move on. And
Mm.
I had to remember that. And I had to remember that, yes, I was a mother to these children, but I was also a vessel.
Mm.
When I let go of when they let go of me having parental rights of them, you know what I mean? I know how I was.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I wouldn't want them to be raised like I was. So I wanted them to be able to feel and do whatever. I'd be there to pick them up. I'd be there. You know what I mean? So I just looked at it as their journeys were finished. Now my sons that commit suicide, I know they'll have to come back.
Is that
I
a
know
part of your belief
because
system?
I believe that if that's how you go out, you have to come in because it's the Buddhist in me. But I
Yeah.
believe that you have to come back because you have not learned. You have to rewalk that journey
Do you believe it will be
until
the exact same journey, you believe?
no, it's not the exact same journey. You might end up in another body or whatever. No, it's not the exact same journey, but you
Mm.
will have to turn and you have to, and hopefully then shit'll kick in that, oh, okay, I need to pay attention to this or pay attention to that. So anyway, yeah, I don't, and that's why I did not go to any of their funerals. I did not want pictures, because I don't ever want to see, I'm a very visual person. And if I saw my children in caskets, I'd be in a padded room.
How did you manage to not go? And let me explain to you what I mean by that. There's no guilt with my tone because I make drastic decisions and people's often like, how could you? Sometimes you just have to save yourself in a moment. So how did you manage to not give in to the perspectives of others who may have said, how could you not go? Why are you not there? Did you get any of that from people?
No.
Good.
No, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I love that you don't. So you were at peace not going to any of your children's funerals?
Yes, that's what brought me peace, because I could then, yes, I would imagine how it happened. I would visualize the whole thing, but they were my children. I know partially why it happened.
I was going to ask, in terms of the two that committed suicide, I'm sorry to say once again, you had inklings, you knew that something was going on?
Yeah.
Was there any warnings that they were going to do something? Did they say anything, leave a note or anything? Okay.
No.
But you knew they were going through a journey.
I was trying to. But, you know, they looked at Mom, they thought I was crazy. You know, when I would tell them, they thought I was crazy. You know, I'm just a crazy old mom, you know, crazy old hippie mom, you know, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay, you'll learn, you know, and they learned. And then, like I said, they learned, but it just wasn't their, you know what? Nobody is guaranteed in your life forever.
Of course, not even us within ourselves, of course.
Right.
So you have one beautiful son left. What is his age remaining on this earth, should I say? What is his age?
He's 32.
Have you, due to the journey, have you become super protective over him now?
Yes. Well,
which nobody has the right to say. Yeah.
Kind of. Well, no. Kind of, because I had to pull back, because I don't helicopter mom, but I kind of.
Neither. I'm so not that type of mom either.
I'm kind of, you know, I'm this alpha, and you know, so it takes a minute. It takes a minute to understand that I'm nibbling, I'm not barking, you know.
So do you, in terms of the post that I saw, I'm really bright, the post that I saw, warning of females, what was that about, Mum? Wagwan, what do you?
He decided to, what?
Yeah, in Lingana, what happened to you? What was that about?
Well, I had talked to my son that morning.
What happened?
And he informed me of all these women in his inbox.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? That means he's doing something right.
I get it, but I know my son.
You're lucky he's not old enough. I'll be in his inbox too.
I know my son.
So what does that mean?
I know my son.
So are you warning
I'm trying to knock his ego down, okay?
Yeah.
He knocked down a couple bags.
Is it girls, or is he the problem? Then is he the problem?
He's the problem. He's the problem. I don't want, look, I don't care if he's my son. I don't care if I spit him out. I refuse to let or even stand by and watch a man manipulate a woman. I'm not going to happen. And I know who he is.
Of course. But your post is more like, ladies, this is my lost son, and I'll do anything to protect him. I was like, whoa.
Well, that too.
I was like, whoa, okay.
That too. That'll calm down after a while. He'll piss me off enough. You know?
And you throw him back for your last cup. But no, I just thought I'd, you know, go back and forth with the lightening the mood. But I, you know, on a real level now, serious note of being protective, nobody would know your language of expression of what you've experienced unless they've experienced it. No book or video documentary in the world could have anyone share your feelings on what you've experienced. It's huge. It's huge. You hear someone losing 1, 4.
Yeah.
Was that a part of the catalyst which led to some of your posts? Because, you know, I'm like the wannabe journalist. I snoop from people's stuff and I'm going to talk to them. I really discover what's going on. So two of your posts spoke about, you know, hi guys, I'm not going to be putting out videos for a while. I'm going through a depressive stage, but I know what it's about, so I'll be back a little later. Was some of this journey, if not all of it, the catalyst to why you went through a depressive stage? Understandably, did it have anything to do with what, you know? Were you going through depression?
Yeah. What happened was, like I said, the first year of retirement, I was just kind of getting adjusted to it. This is my second summer in it. And it was like I wasn't having to work. So PTSD moments came more frequently. Those those shit just started coming back more frequently because I had the time. I did not have those distractions of work. So then I started thinking about, well, shit, damn kids are gone. You know what I'm saying? I was like, fuck. And so I got to thinking about that, and then I went through a very large chunk of that time was feeling guilty. I had to not blame myself. I had to remember. I had to keep remembering they were on a journey. This is how it happened. There's nothing you could have done. Everything happened just as you know. I had to keep that going. I had to keep that mantra going.
What was your daily routine like, if I can ask, during the course of these losses? You know, did you even get out of bed in the morning? Did you skip breakfast?
Oh yeah.
What did it look like?
I would, there would be days I'd get depressed, but I don't know if it's because I have ADHD or not, but when I get depressed, it only lasts like 2 days, because then I can't stand being in the bed anymore. It just gets on my nerves. You know what I mean? But I would constantly be trying to find things to do and starting thousands of projects and getting frustrated because none of them are finished and just beating myself up. I was beating myself up, and I would have moments where I would cry. You know, I would think about it, cry, or I hear a song, or so I smell a smell. It just, yeah.
Did you ever? A real question now. Did you ever have a moment of, do I want to even be here?
I have SI. I always have those moments.
Does it ever go? Has it ever gone past that thought though? Of, you know what?
Yeah, I've attempted 6 times.
What route did you attempt?
Pills.
And each time you didn't take enough, or you got discovered and they pumped it out of you?
Got discovered.
Well, amen. You got work to do. That's why.
The last time I did it, it was like, you know what? I said, obviously the ancestors want me here. I got a job to do, so fuck it. I ain't gonna do this anymore.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad, and thank you for sharing that. And where are you at now with someone once called depression a low vibration. I once interviewed a woman, and she didn't use the word depression. She says, I was going through a low vibration, which is what it is. And I love that term. So I'm not trying to escape the word depression, but it is a low vibration.
That's that's fine.
Right? So where are you at now with the low vibration? Has it disappeared? Do you struggle a bit every now and again, or?
See, I started therapy. I started therapy a couple months ago because I figured, again, I was not, like I said, I was not going to go through PTSD. I could not go through another season. I couldn't because I lost it, because I basically had a nervous breakdown last year. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, not going through that again. So that's when I was like, okay, I've been taking care of my mental health all this time. I've been doing good, but I need some help.
So you've actually had a nervous breakdown then? What did that look like? Because I think a lot of people's had it. Me, you, many might have had it and not even know we've had it. So what was your symptom?
Well, I would just cry uncontrollably over everything. I felt like, it was just like I felt like the walls were crawling in me, or I was being buried alive. It was just, it was like, and I'm claustrophobic. So it was just like, you know what I mean? And that's the only way I can describe it. It was just like I couldn't escape, and I was just under these bricks of guilt and just.
How did you get out of the weight of having all those bricks on you, and that moment of the breakdown? Did your partner call for help? Did the ambulance come? Did you go into psychiatry? Did you take medication? How did you get from there to this point now?
My partner took me, and I stayed a
God.
week.
Thank God. I'm glad you had someone to hold your hand.
It's just down the street.
But that's a beautiful thing. Everyone needs something or someone. I'm glad you had someone to hold your hand. Come on, bloody hell, you've gone through a lot. And it's probably only a pinch of your life that I know about.
Yeah.
Yeah? To anyone out there that's either gone through this level of grief and mourning the loss of especially their children, and suffered with depression or having a breakdown, is there anything you could tell those individuals, or to console them, or how you got through through that point to now?
Find something when you're going, which you need an inner child kit.
Oh, I love my inner child.
You got to get an inner child kit. Get your duffel bag of all the stuff you loved as a child that immediately brings a smile to your face.
And what if someone doesn't have any good memories to have an inner child kit? What could they?
Well, then when they get in a toy store, there's things that they've wanted. It comes out. It comes out in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Okay, it comes out, and I implore everybody to get an inner child kit. And when you start going through those stages, go get that. Go grab it.
Yeah.
Grab it, and have music also make you a CD or whatever it is now.
And your inner child kit was your partner, your music, your
No. It was SpongeBob SquarePants.
It was your what? Sorry?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh shit, you did say that. So he made you laugh? Yeah, that's amazing. When I've had low vibration, I listen to comedy.
He's so zen to me, he's so zen to me. It kind of reminds me, okay, Yeah.
I remember having really low vibration certain time in my life, and I remember consciously saying, "You need to put on comedy." And I physically remember saying that, and found myself really laughing.
Yeah. And then once you do that and you clear your lungs, especially when you're laughing and you're clearing your lungs, you're getting all that toxic energy out. Because not only are you clearing your lungs, you're getting pushing that toxic energy, you're pushing it out. You know what I'm saying? It's not in a bad way. You're laughing, so it's rolling out. The energy is coming out. So when you get that out, you feel better. And then you look back at the situation like, what the hell was I even pissed for?
It's interesting because I was saying to someone very recently that we don't always realize that a lot of us, definitely including me, is still carrying survival mechanisms and still carrying survival emotions. So even though you're not feeling the things you did before or experiencing it, sometimes it's just surface dormant. It just takes that thing and then you realize, oh, I haven't gotten over it. It's just, I'm in survival mode, but you haven't overcome it. And that goes back to the therapy and teaching in therapy, where it's not everything you overcome. Some things you learn to live with, but it's right here. And it's but the difference between survival and overcoming. So how do you find your emotions? You find that you can be very sensitive in some areas because it's still right here. It's very fresh, your experiences. It's still very fresh, isn't it?
Well, I'm sensitive anyway. I'm kind of sensitive anyway. That's why I can't. And lately, like in the past 2 years, it's been really weird. I haven't been able to watch. All I could watch is anime, or if I watch live action, it's got to be I love Perry Mason and the old Perry Mason and stuff like that. But it's got to be black and white because in the past years. But it's weird because in the past 2 years, I've watched shows or watched movies, and I've just feel so much for the characters that sometimes it's physically painful, and that happens so many times that it's okay, screw this.
It means you have extreme empath.
I don't know what it was, but I just know I
I
had to
can
stop.
relate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had to
I
stop.
hate it.
It's like I don't even know these people. Why am I feel I mean my body physically freaking
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah.
Then I mean it hurt, it did it enough where I was like, screw this. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I'll watch anime.
So,
There's enough animated series out there.
no, yeah, I could definitely weep for characters that I see who's going through pain, or I don't physically feel it in my, as you know, but in terms
Yeah.
of, yeah, physically, emotionally for what they're going through. But again, another trend of people saying I'm an empath, but some people really are, and I don't think it's a cool thing to have, or trait to have, because you feel so much.
It's
A blessing,
not.
a blessing
It's
and a
not.
curse. Yeah.
It's not. I mean, and I try not to say that. That's what but I mean, if it is what it is, if she fucking
Yeah.
fits. But it's like, that's why I don't like to go out. And that's why I have become a, introvert. And
Would
I'm
you
okay with it
go
because,
out? Why?
and I am so okay with that. Let me
Why
just
is that?
trust and believe, huh? Because I realized going through therapy that I was forced. I was always I can remember myself as a little girl. I was always intricate. I mean, introverted. I'd be the one to be sitting back in the corner and watching everybody. I still do it. I try not to stand. I want to look cute, but I ain't trying to stand out. You know what I'm saying? What I'm
That
saying? So
surprises
I
me because
stand
your
out in the back and
personality.
I kind of observe everybody.
Yeah.
But what happened in life is people pushed me out to be extroverted, and I didn't want to be. So the way I looked at it when I was going through this healing journey, I was like, look, you know what? Fuck y'all. Fuck this. Y'all made me extroverted. I'm grown now, and I'm getting my shit together. I can have cookies for breakfast if I want to.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So on that note, thank you so much for sharing that part, and it really case sensitive. And obviously we wish you love and continuous healing on that. And lastly, before we close the live, what is it like living with ADHD?
Oh God.
The way you done that, I can't with you. Or what's it like people living with you? What's it like living with you, should I say, ADHD?
Look. I have fought and I always knew something was off with me. I always knew something was off with me. I mean, the report card, if they couldn't tell by my report cards, she's not paying attention. She's always running her mouth. She's always sitting up, and if they didn't and nobody caught us, like I was always getting my ass whooped for this shit. Okay. And I told my dad, I told him when I found out, when I got diagnosed, I said, you owe me.
Oh, bless you.
You owe me. So anyway, it's a pain in the ass. I'm not going to lie. Because if it wasn't such a pain in the ass, I wouldn't have gone to pharmaceuticals, because I trust and believe I am still in the lab trying to get some mixtures together to see how I can get some shit to work. I'm working on a sativa kind of mixture thing now. I just don't want to do pharmaceuticals.
Are you trying to repress, control is it hyperactive energy that you have, or what is it that you're trying to concoct in order to do with your ADHD? What is it?
The focus, which is the hyperactivity. I have to be able to focus, and and that's been the whole stand back of my business, is making my stuff, is because I cannot focus. And then I've been through a lot of shit, and then having to go through that, now I got to relearn some shit that I was doing, and that's frustrating to me because I should know it, but I have to relearn it. And trying to learn it and say, fuck it, I want to go do something else. I'd rather not do this right now, so let me go, pretty butterfly,
I can't with you. I so cannot with you. Okay, so it's the focus that you find a challenge. I can relate. Maybe I've got ADHD.
Yeah, because that's like, I get into, but I'm embracing it. But I needed to have something, like, I'm not on Ritalin or any of that stuff. I'm on Strattera, pretty mild. But
Does it help?
Does
it help? Whatever the doctors prescribe you, does it help?
Yeah. What
does it do for you?
It kind of reins me in just a little bit, but I have mixed it with my cannabis mixtures, and it does its thing. I can stay focused. Yeah, I can do that.
Nice, nice.
But I
Okay.
embrace, I mean, like when I'm in a mood to clean, I won't take my meds because I'm going to be cleaning.
Shit. You know, someone once said to me that, not so, but within the last 2 years, someone once said, a lot of us, if not the majority of us, has undetected and undiagnosed issues, and a lot of us has the ADHDs or the autism, and it just hasn't been diagnosed.
Yeah.
But I think you can always tell when there's something a little bit something that's not like everybody else. And I don't mean it in fashion sense. Do you know what I mean? So I'm but I call it greatness. So leave me alone, okay? Yeah, you know. And sometimes I think because there's so many labels now of identification, and that's a great thing as well as a negative, depending on how you want to see it, that I think sometimes you can go looking for stuff. Oh my God, they said if you have a mole behind your ear, it means you're ADHD. Oh, that's what I am. I think people are now clinging to titles because of it. So
I got paperwork.
Huh? You got paperwork.
I got paperwork.
I don't know. Well, listen, you have been an amazing guest speaker. Left to me, I'll be speaking to you for another half an hour. But before I close this live, before I do, I would like to invite you back to do a part 2 on a subject that I saw you apparently covered. You had a title on your page that said, "We must not feel guilty for what our adult children choose to do." Let's not get into that now. That is a subject I've been wanting to do, as well as why so many parents are detached from their children. I need to bring you back so we can have that talk.
Okay.
Yeah. So before I close the live, let me read a few comments, and then we can, close the live. You're so interesting. But I don't want to close the live. All right, let's go back. What can I capture? What can I capture? So Dell says, when it comes to weed, he says, I, as an EYE, I like that. Yeah. Says he smokes it, drink it, rub it. Hang on, drinks it, rub it. Only I have external and internal. What's that? Tinctures made by little sis. Okay. I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah, I make his tinctures and stuff.
Yeah, okay. The N word doesn't mean what it means. Do you know what it is, my darling? Regardless of the origin of it, it's what it means. It's what it meant once they took it over. It's like once upon a time when I was a child, the rainbow had nothing to do with sexuality. Now it does.
Yeah.
Do you see me? So,
what the fuck is a unicorn?
When I say back in the day, having rainbow and wearing a rainbow colored jacket would not mean I was a part of the gay community. Now it would mean that. So it just depends on what you want to represent. But I do appreciate and get that. You know, there's origins for everything. Yeah. Dell says again, no fear. We open the portholes that we want to. Of course. If you're opening portholes, you know, I guess you shouldn't be afraid. But if you don't know what you're doing, then it's about being mindful. There's too many experiments going, and everyone's saying, everyone's saying, oh, my ancestors.
You know what? You know what? Not to excuse, but it's like, look, it's like, remember when you were little, if you said Bloody Mary in the mirror 3 times, everybody lit.
That's where, all those movies that done that. So what I'm saying is, everyone do what you want to do, but let me just leave you with this. We are in a time where we understand that we've been misled, robbed, lynched, everything else, and everything is now trying to recapture and be recaptivated by our, you know, our ancestors and the history that was lost, and a lot of us are becoming so awakened. It's a beautiful thing. However, just because my ancestors done all these things in their time, it doesn't mean I'm supposed to practice it now. That's the situation that people are getting lost in. Oh, my ancestors did it. Are you prepared for what comes with that? A lot of people don't know what they're doing. They're practicing, they're burning, they're making, they're spellbinding. They don't know what they're doing. They just feel like, you know, my great granny did it, so hey, let me do it.
They don't even know, and they don't even know the context behind what they were doing.
people really knew the magnitude, not even I know the total magnitude of certain things and responsibilities that comes with those things. Those were the generational times where people put their ear to the ground to hear when enemies were coming. Now people are dialing mobile phones. Times has changed, bro. So with that change, we have to be mindful that we're not in that era. We don't have that level of awareness, like playing the drums when visitors were coming to town. Those days are not like now. Yeah. So I'm very mindful that people are constantly bringing up their ancestors. Oh, this is for my ancestors. So once an African man once said to me, Silva, this is my lineage in Ghana. Whilst everyone's bringing them up, can you put them back? I'll leave you with that. It's a serious thing. All this, I'm bringing up ancestors and I'm calling up when you call them up, what do you do then next? Don't you know you've got to put them back? Send them back sometimes. You keep disrupting the restful spirit, but people, and this is Africans telling me this. So I
see, and this is the other thing. I told you I'm gonna be pissing some off because some people be doing some shit.
That's what I'm saying to you. They
don't need to be doing no shit, and they just doing some shit because.
And this is a hardcore, deep lineage African man saying they don't really know what they're doing. No. And I said, I know they don't. It's a trend that's gone too far. It's from a pure place. So I'm sure ancestors understand that, but just be mindful. I didn't say careful. Sometimes it's careful, but mindful. So I'm very mindful based on the power that I carry and who I am and what I don't play with, because it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah.
Like that, that's why I say I just try to get people not to buy into some shit and
right,
scammed by shit.
Clippers of podcast says, and related to your children, because her children are in the spiritual world and made to master, tagged him in. So thank you for that. So listen, just before we close the live, allow me to ask you what I ask everybody else. It's the part where I call it the afterthoughts. Tiger, what are your afterthoughts? How was it for you tonight, spending time with me right here on Free Flowing Thoughts?
I had fun.
I'm
sitting here thinking, why the fuck was I so nervous?
Sometimes I'm nervous, and I've done it so many times. Sometimes I'm nervous, and it's you know. But this is more chit chat with Silva. It doesn't have to be. Some of my talks are quite more rigid based on the topic and who I'm speaking to. So this is more chit chat.
Well, you know what? I actually like it because it's challenging. You challenge me.
I was really soft today.
I love a good challenge. I love a good challenge.
That's nice.
Challenge me to I have to look deep, and I'm in a healing process. And see, you're part of that puzzle.
Oh, ditto. Well, listen, Miss Amethyst, Tiger Goddess, you have been as divine as I thought you would be. Thank you so much for gracing us all of your beauty, gracing us all with your beauty, your openness, your transparency, your stories, your laughter, your case-sensitive stories, and so much more. I will be inviting you back on a part 2 as soon as you've had time to breathe. I'm coming back for you, so we can talk about that culture you went over. Yeah. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening, however you spend it. Peace and love.
Thank you. Now you go get that tea. Namaste. Get some tea.
I'm gonna have my tea, and it won't be weed tea. Well, not tonight. Maybe in the next. You never know. I'll come see you. Have that weed tea, yeah. I will speak to you later. Feel free to exit live. Press the little X wherever you've seen it, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Oh, an interesting and divine woman. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us. That was so nice. It was really like 2 friends just chopping it up in my living room. I really, really loved that. Next week, I have 2 more brand new guests. Keep it locked for that. And if anyone's watching and you want to have absolutely any topic goes as long as it flows, inbox me. I'll schedule you a date and let's make it happen. All right. Peace and love.